Hi everyone. Today we're going to walk through building a Ruby on Rails application that is going to allow us to generate QR codes with a embedded logo in the middle of it. To make this happen, we're going to create a single form that's going to have a URL input that's going to be the destination of the QR code, and also a file input for the user to upload a PNG logo that's going to be embedded in our generated QR code. So let's take a look at how we can get everything started. To get started, we just need to run our Rails new command. In our case, I'm going to use Tailwind, but that's not something that is required to have everything working here. So we just run our Rails new command here. And this is going to create our new Rails application, as well as bundle install all of the gems that we need. So once this is complete, we can move directly into that new directory that was created and start adding our functionality. So now that we've created our Rails app, we just need to move into the directory that was created and run our scaffold command. So for our scaffold command, we're only going to be creating a single model called QrCode, and we're going to give it a single attribute URL, which is going to be a string. That value is going to be the URL that the user will input into the field whenever they're uploading everything to create the combined QR code. And to run our scaffold command, we just need to run bin rails generate scaffold. So our scaffold command is going to generate the views, models, controllers, everything that we need to be able to start creating these QR code records. Since we're creating an application that has a single model, another thing that I like adding is making sure our root route is set to the index page for the QR codes. So to do that, we can go into our routes page and add root QR codes index. So now whenever we start our application and go to localhost 3000, we will land directly on the index page for our QR codes. You may have noticed that I haven't ran any of the generated migrations yet after we created our scaffold. That is because since we're going to be using active storage in this app, it is going to add its own migration. So we're going to go ahead and install active storage and then migrate to add all of the new migrations and tables that the scaffold and active storage have added. So we can do that with bin rails active storage install. Okay, now we can just migrate our database, and this is going to run the migrations for active storage as well as creating our QR code model that we scaffolded previously. To make sure everything is still working, we can go ahead and start up the application really quick. Make sure that everything boots up, and we're going to land directly on that QR code index page. Great. So our root route is set up to go to the QR code index page, and everything is ready to go. So now that we have active storage installed and ready to go, we can start adding some of our attached image files to this QR code model here. In our case, we're going to have 3 different active storage attachments. The first one is going to be called logo. This is what the user is going to upload through the form. The second one is called original image. So this is going to be a PNG of the QR code that gets generated originally. And then the third is going to be a combined image, which will be a composite of the logo with a little bit of editing and processing embedded in the middle of the original image, so the QR code. So this is going to be our QR code with the logo nice and neat in the middle there. So now that active storage is added, all we have to do is add has one attached and the name of the attached file that we're looking to add. So do has attached logo. We'll go ahead and add the rest of the ones that we'll be needing as well. Okay, so with Active Storage installed, in just 3 lines, we're able to attach 3 different images all to our model. So with this done, we just need to update our controller. So we'll go to QrCode's controller, and we're going to add logo to our safe params here. So now when we add our logo file field to the form, submit this to the controller, this file field will be picked up with the rest of the params and saved as a new active storage attachment. To add the logo file field, all we have to do is move over to the form. So app views, QR codes, form. And then we can copy what's here already for our URL. This should be a pretty good start. So we'll change this to logo, change this to logo, and this needs to be file field, and don't need any class stuff, so we could delete the rest of this. And I'm going to add one other small change here. I'm going to add accept PNG. So this is going to limit the files that are able to be selected through the browser to just PNG. This is by no means foolproof, but is just a quick and dirty way just to at least try to limit the types of files that we're going to allow in this logo field. And as one more quick change, we're going to add the uploaded logo just to the detail page of the QR code, just as an easy way to make sure that everything is getting stored correctly. So we can do that with image tag, QR code, and logo. So this will fail if we do try to visit a detail page without a logo attached, but we should be able to create one and then view that newly created QR code and see the logo that we just uploaded. So let's see if all that is set up and working correctly. Okay, so let's go to new QR code. We'll add in our URL, add in a logo here, create QR code, and we can see everything was created. We have our URL saved successfully, as well as our uploaded image ready to go. So we already have one of the active storage attachments. The next thing that we need to do is we need to create one for the QR code that is going to direct to this URL that the user uploaded. To handle generating our QR codes, we're going to use the QrCode gem. So we head over to our gem file, add the QrCode gem, bundle install, and we will be on our way to creating our very own custom QR codes. So that's added. Could bundle install that. Okay, so now we're ready to jump into creating some of the QR codes. For the actual logic that is going to create and process the QR code, I'm going to have everything here contained on our QR code model in a single method that's going to allow us to run this manually, say in a console or somewhere else where we may need it. Of course, you can look at any other type of implementation that may suit you better, but this is a nice handy way of giving me the option to kind of reprocess and generate a lot of these things manually. So we could start with creating a new method, generate QR code. And one thing we can do is we could take a look at the QrCode gem and see some of their examples that they have here for us already. So we could see we have a URL. So we already know how to create the new QR code object. And we have some great examples of some arguments we can pass to create our PNG. Okay, so for starting, we will create a new QrCode object. And pass it the URL of our QR code record. And your specific arguments may vary depending on the types of images that you're using or generating as your final output. But after a bit of tinkering, I have found a set of options that I've been passing to the QrCode gem to create a nice PNG that renders pretty well in the middle of the QR code. So I will just paste those here. Fix that up a little bit. Okay, so referring back to the documentation, we're just calling as PNG on this QrCode QR object that we created above. We're giving it a size argument, a few more arguments about the color, what type of color mode to use, and the fill. So this will create everything that we need and return a QrCode generated PNG for us to then save in the active storage. So now that we have this image, we have to attach it to our original image active storage attachment. So we can call our original image, then attach, and it's going to require 3 arguments. The first one is IO. This is going to depend on the file type and format that you're using. But in our case, the QrCode gem will return a chunky PNG string object, basically. So we have to call toString and wrap this in string IO and pass it to the IO argument here in the attach method. So original QR toString. File name, we're going to call this original QR PNG. Content type will be image PNG. Okay, make sure all that's closed. Clean this up a little bit, make it nice and readable. This should attach everything that we need for the original image. And to verify this, we can actually run most of this code in our console and see what the output looks like. So if everything is working, we should be able to open up our Rails console, grab the last QR code that was created before, and call this method manually here in the console and see if the new image is attached. So we could do that with QrCode. Womp womp. Aha. So did not quite go as planned. It looks like I had the class name wrong here. So this should be correct. Now, can move into here. Let's see if this works now. So we'll grab the last QR code, we'll run our method and see if the new image is created and attached with active storage. Okay, so that looked like it worked. An easy way to confirm this is to output that image onto the detail page like we did before. So that's going to be in the QrCode partial. Go here, and this is going to be original image. So if we output this and go to our last QR code that was created, we should see a PNG of the QR code that's going to map to whatever URL that we passed to it displayed on the page. So we go here. So this confirms that we are creating a new active storage attachment. Everything is being saved, and as far as I could tell, this looks like a valid QR code. So if this is all that you need, just wanting to know how you can generate QR codes and save them as active storage attachments, that's pretty much it. Thanks for the ride. But if you would like to see how we can embed these 2 images to create a nice brandable QR code, we'll be going through that now. So for creating the combined QR code, I'm going to use the same approach as we did before. Create a method here on the model that we could just call in the console or anywhere else to create the combined image. So I'm going to call this generate combined QR code. So to allow us to be able to actually process these images, we need to go into our gem file, uncomment the image processing gem, and bundle install. This is going to make MiniMagick available to us, and this is how we're going to process and combine these two images into a new image. So we could just move to our gem file here, and this should already be included in your project. So we just have to uncomment it, save that, okay, bundle install, and we're on our way. So now that we've added the image processing gem, because we're calling everything here in the context of our model, we need to require the MiniMagick gem at the top of the file here. So we can add with our image processing gem installed and MiniMagick required in our model file and ready to go, we need to start creating some MiniMagick images and then combining them into a composite image that's going to be attached to active storage. So the first step is we need to create our logo image. After that, our second step is going to be to do the same thing with the QrCode image. So for creating the logo image, do logo image, MiniMagick, open, and then logo. So in this context, logo is our active storage attachment up here. For the same thing with the QrCode image, image, so this is going to create two MiniMagick image objects from our active storage attachments. So we can get a better idea of what's happening by running some of this code inside of our Rails console. Inside our Rails console, we just need to grab the last QrCode object that we created previously. Okay, and our syntax is going to be a little bit different since we were calling everything within the context of the model, but we could do everything pretty similar here in the console to give you a better idea of what's actually happening under the hood. So for our logo image, MiniMagick image and open and QrCode logo. Okay, so you notice this created a new MiniMagick image, and it also has a temp file. If we take a look at this temp file, this will be the image that we've already uploaded. Now we can do the same thing with our QrCode. MiniMagick image, always do new instead of open, and then QrCode original image. And same thing, we open this, we take a look, and we see that this is our QrCode. So now we have the two images that we need to combine to make our third. Before attempting to generate our composite image out of these two images that we've just created here, we're going to do a bit of processing on the logo image to give it a white background and scale it down a little bit so it fits nicely in the middle of our new image that we're going to create. So this is where the image processing gem comes in handy, and we could do this in a single line here. So we can do updated logo image. Is that right? No. Is that not? Okay, and then we call resize and pad with a couple of our arguments here. Resizzle. Size and pad. This is going to be 100 by 100 pixels. We're also going to tell it to give it a background of white. You may have remembered the file field has been limited to just PNGs. So by adding this background white, this will add a white background to any transparent PNG that was uploaded to help it stand out from the QrCode a little bit easier. And the last thing we need to do is we need to add call here. And so we can see exactly what this is going to look like. We'll move back over to the console and see how this all kind of works in context here. So with the last QR code object already set up here in the console and some of these other mini magic images that we've already created, I can just paste in pretty much the same code that we're using within the model, run this, and we can view our newly processed image. Okay, so that looks like it went through okay. And now I will command hover and click on this and it should open our image. So we can see this is scaled down to a much better size. And instead of our previous transparent background, which was kind of hard to see in the browser, but by opening the actual file, it is a little bit easier to clarify that. But we can see we have a nice processed image that's going to stand out nicely from our QR code while still maintaining its scannability. Now we have all the ingredients we need to make our composite image. For that, we're going to call composite on the QR code image, which is going to serve as our background. We're going to pass it a few arguments, and this is going to create a newly combined QR code image for us. Okay, so we're going to call composite on QR code image, which is this mini magic image that we created above. And we're going to pass it our updated logo image. So this is the newly processed logo that was uploaded originally from the user, scaled down to 100 by 100 pixels, and a white background added to everything. So we need to pass it a few arguments here, and we could do that by passing it a block. So we'll give it C, and then our compose is going to be over our gravity. It's going to be center, and color space, it's going to be sRGB. Going over what each one of these is doing, this is going to place on top of the image that it's being called upon. So this is going to layer the updated logo image on top of the QR code image instead of trying to blend it in together. It's going to start from the center. So it is going to place the center of our logo image within the center of the QR code image that we're calling this method on. And color space is letting this composite method know to maintain the color of the updated logo image that we're passing. Otherwise, it will try to blend the two colors together, and you'll end up with something that is all black and white. So this should be everything that we need to create the combined image. The last step would be saving everything as an active storage attachment. But before doing that, we can run everything in our console and take a look at how this is actually going to be output before we try to save everything with active storage. So since everything should already be set up and we're referencing a local variable in here, we should be able to paste this newly added snippet directly into the Rails console and have everything work. Hopefully. It's the dream, isn't it? So we'll paste that, and that looks like it was successful. So let's take a look at the generated image. If all goes well, we should see the QR code with the logo that was added nicely embedded in the middle. Perfect. So looks like all of that has went successfully. All we need to do now is attach this as our active storage attachment. For the original image, we've already went through the process of creating a image programmatically within our method here, and then saving it and attaching it manually to active storage. We're going to do the same thing here, but because the image is formatted a little bit differently, our syntax is going to be slightly different than the previous example. So to attach everything, we will do combined image, attach, and we need to pass it the same three arguments as before. So IO, instead of wrapping everything in a string IO.new call, because we have the file, which we saw when we ran everything in the console, we could just do file open and pass it the path of that temp file. Do file open, composite QR code, path. Okay, so that will open the file and use that as the actual image data that's sent to be attached. And we'll add our file name. Find image, PNG. And for a content type, it's also going to be image PNG. Okay. And break things up a little bit here. So if you still have an active Rails console session with all of this previous setup up, we should be able to move over into it and paste this code and see if we can attach our newly combined QrCode image. So we'll do this, run it, combine image. Aha, almost. So go here. Nope. So this needs to be called on the QR code since combined image is an active storage attachment on that record. So I believe that was QR code, and hopefully this should work. Okay, so that looks like it went through successfully. And to check, we will move back over to that QR code detail partial. And we'll add the newly generated one. We'll visit the last one that we created, and we'll see if all this is working. Combined image, okay. And so we should be able to refresh and see a newly added image that is a composite of these two. Never works on the first try, does it? Okay, is that right? Did I not spell that right? Maybe I just have to, actually, I think I have to just restart server here. So we'll restart that, come back over here, and hopefully we'll work. And look at that. We have our third image. This is an active storage attachment and a combination of these two images. So we're doing a little bit of processing on this one. We're generating this one, and then we're creating the third output, which is here. And we could take a look at this. I have a small QR code app here that should allow us to see if it scans. And we'll see. And that takes us to localhost 3000. So our QR code is still scannable and usable. And we also have a little bit of nice branding here right in the middle of it. So the last thing that we need to do is we need to tie it all together in the context of our application. So we have these images. We have everything that we need, the methods to generate them. We just need to add them somewhere in the actual app where they're being called. So we could do that in the controller, QR controller, and then for simplicity's sake, we'll just call QR code, generate QR code, and then generate combined QR code here. Whoops. So I'm sure that there are more performant and better ways to do this. This is just the easiest way where I think everything is a little bit easier to work with in the context of the model instead of the controller, and also allows you to kind of call these methods manually in your console and be able to debug and diagnose issues easier. So now that we have this, we just need to add it here in our update just to make sure if something is updated, we generate all the new updated forms. So with this complete, we should be able to go through the whole process again and end up on a pretty similar page here, just with a different ID. So go to our localhost, new QR code, put in our favorite URL, and we can see this is transparent. So upload this, and hopefully if we create this QR code, we should be redirected to its detail page or the show page with all three of the images successfully generated. And that's it. So with not much work, we were able to create a pretty functional standalone app that has a lot of utility and allows you to add a little more branding to your generated QR codes. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful. Please let me know your thoughts, or if you have any questions, and let me know some other topics that you'd like to hear me take on. So thanks again.